What's the best way you've seen someone rebel against school rules? Senior year at Lincoln High was already stressful enough, but administration decided it was time to flex its authority in a new way. They banned jackets. Not hoodies, not coats. They specifically said no jackets inside the building. It was winter, and a lot of people were freezing walking from class to class, but rules are rules, apparently. My friend Jeremy was one of the chillier kids. He had a tendency to overheat in gym class but freeze in classrooms. One Monday he showed up wearing his favorite jacket, a dark tweed sport coat that looked way too old school for our school, but it was warm and he liked it. At lunch, the VP, Mr. Patterson, spotted him immediately. "Take that off," Patterson said, his voice the exact mix of authority and irritation that made everyone nervous. Jeremy didn't panic. Instead, he reached into his backpack, pulled out the student handbook, and opened it to the dress code page. He pointed at it. "Where does it say I can't wear a jacket?" Patterson leaned over, scanning the handbook. He found the dress code, which was fairly standard. No hats, no hoods, nothing gang-related, nothing offensive. Then he stumbled on the one vague line every administrator loves to abuse, or anything the administration deems disruptive. Patterson's eyes flicked up at Jeremy, and for a full 30 seconds, you could see him trying to decide whether to argue or let it go. He flipped a page back and forth a few times, muttering, "Well, yes, it's right here, it says." Jeremy rolled his eyes. He handed the handbook back, shrugged, and slowly peeled off the jacket. "Fine. But make sure you actually enforce this rule fairly," he said, tossing it into his bag. Patterson grumbled, but that was it for the day. That night, Jeremy was clearly plotting. The next morning, he showed up wearing a tweed sport coat. The catch? It was the exact same style and color as Patterson's. The principal had always complimented the VP on his classic look, calling him sharp and professional. Jeremy had replicated it down to the elbow patches. When Patterson saw him in the hallway, you could see his brain short-circuit. He pointed at Jeremy, his mouth opening and closing like a fish. "Take it off now." Jeremy smiled, calm as could be. "It's not a jacket. It's a sport coat. Like yours." Patterson hesitated. That's not, no. You can't. Look, it's in the handbook. I'm technically not breaking the rule." Jeremy's grin was infuriatingly smug. Other students started gathering in the hallway, sensing the confrontation. Some had phones out. A few even whispered, "This is going to be good." Patterson tried to rally back up, calling another teacher over to confirm. Meanwhile, Jeremy slowly adjusted the lapels, stood tall, and looked Patterson dead in the eye. The other students could barely contain their laughter. A few even started mimicking the VP's stern tone and gestures. The rest of the day, Jeremy wore the coat everywhere, to history, to lunch, even to the assembly. Every time Patterson tried to enforce the no jackets rule, Jeremy had some technicality ready. Sometimes it was technically, "It's a blazer, not a jacket." Other times it was, "Well, it's cold in here, and the handbook doesn't say anything about warmth." By midweek, the story had spread. Students in other classes started asking Jeremy if they could also bend the rules. Tweed suddenly became a trend. A few kids started wearing oversized scarves or blazers that looked like they were borrowed from their grandparents. Every time Patterson tried to crack down, Jeremy's smug smile and calm arguments made him hesitate. Administrators eventually realized enforcing the rule was impossible without looking absurd. Jeremy never got in trouble. Patterson, for the rest of the year, avoided the hallways whenever he saw a tweed coat coming. Every time Jeremy passed him, he would give a little nod, like he was a spy who had outsmarted the system. By graduation, the sport coat rebellion had become part of the school lore. Teachers and students alike would laugh about it whenever jackets, coats, or even dress codes came up. Jeremy didn't seek attention or brag, but everyone knew he had managed to turn a pointless rule into a week-long spectacle that no one would forget. Jeremy's quiet, clever rebellion wasn't loud or destructive. It was all in the style and the timing. He didn't break any rules technically, but he highlighted just how absurd the rule was, and somehow in doing so, he won a small but legendary victory.